Good evening, Blue Noisies everywhere. Excuse me, I am just trying to get this smile off my face so I can talk to you. Now, first of all, welcome to this week's edition of It's Wednesday, It's Watto. Now, the smile is caused by the news, and it's not 100% confirmed at the time of this recording, but I'm pretty sure, there it goes again, pretty sure that Jay Stansfield is coming back to Blues. Now, all through the summer and all through this transfer window, I've got to be honest, I was saying, if we could just get him back, then all this, we would know what we're getting. We're guaranteed quality. Obviously, we've gone down a division, and it won't be easy. But it seems like our gaffers have swung this deal, and we will see Jay Stansfield probably in the number 9 shirt, playing for Birmingham City alongside Alfie May, and maybe there's still another one. This guy from Sheffield Wednesday, Ugu, he's a possibility as well. Which those three will be unstoppable. They will be unstoppable. Now, as I say, I can't contain my joy at this news. If it doesn't come to fruition, well, again, I shall be very, very disappointed. It's such a thrill to get this news that you know we, considering we're in League One, to get this guy who we know well, who knows us well, and scores good goals. Not only scores good goals, he scores important goals, winners in the last minute and one-on-ones. He's Jimmy Greaves, as he was at that age. Whether he'll ever be as good as Jimmy Greaves, I doubt it. But it's not a bad comparison. Now, we've moved on a bit since I saw you last. We've had 2 more friendlies, and friendlies don't mean anything. Which is just practice. It's just this. It's balls. That's absolute rubbish. It's a snapshot. This is where we are, right? This is where we are with our preparation. It's a snapshot. Now, first game, the snapshot was ugly as sin. Yes, we all know what we were trying to do, but we didn't succeed in doing any of it. And conceding 5 goals certainly wasn't the plan. But, as everybody rightly said, it was the first game. And you've got to start somewhere. You got to put a peg in the wall. That's where we are. Now, a few days later, we turn up at Solihull Moors for the Arthur Cup. And we changed the system. We didn't take people off at half time, put 11 new people on who looked like they'd never been introduced. People got an hour. The senior players got an hour, and then we brought the youngsters on, and we were 2 or 3 goals up by then, and they weren't backs to the wall. They started to play with a bit of confidence, and we saw people like Tommy Fogarty, for instance, who was blitzed at in Austria. Yeah, he plays against they're probably the 91st best side in the country, Solihull Moors. just missed out on promotion by a penalty shootout. And I got to be honest, I, I know Bromley pretty well, and I think Bromley are pretty lucky to nick that spot. But anyway, decent opposition, the right kind of opposition for the period in which we are, i.e., second match of the season. We score goals, we batter the keeper, we hit the crossbar, and what was the standout thing of that evening was the passing. The passing and movement was superb, absolutely superb. So we've moved from that 1 out of 10 to 6 out of 10, and that's what we want to see. Now on Saturday at Shrewsbury, with some more new signings, Mr. Willem Thor Willemson, which is very unusual for the Icelandic name, Thor, because they ain't actually Norsemen. But anyway, that's by the by. We had a look at him. Oh, goodness me, 6 foot plenty, good control, vision. Where we found him from? Wonderful, wonderful. And we have to say, we played very well. Ball passing, 2 high wing backs, absolutely battered them for the 45 minutes. But we only scored 1 goal, and that was a little bit of a worry. Now, again, we didn't make the wholesale changes at half time. We made them after an hour. So we sent on the youngsters and plus Dukey, and they had to defend that 1-0 lead, and they did it so well. They looked confident. They passed the ball to each other. They took the ball off the opposition, and Shrewsbury never really got close. They had a couple of goals disallowed, which one was mile offside and the other was a clear foul on our keeper. And those 2 disallowed goals came from our mistakes. But those were the only 2 mistakes that we made. One in the first half, one in the second. And a lad Turner, who we've talked about and purred about his skills and whatever, and that's young Ramel Donovan. Now, all last season, he had cameo appearances, and I don't know how many games he actually started. And from time to time showed a fair bit of skill and footwork and pace and whatever. But there's 2 things. He always came on 10 minutes from the end, and sometimes he never touched the ball. When he did get the ball, people got excited. Oh, look, he's taking the end product, sadly, was never there. He never had an assist, never scored a goal, but he displayed an absolute delightful touch on the ball. Now, what happened? He came on Saturday, and there was a lot of that. He was beating players and then losing it, and beating players and giving the ball away, and so on. And then suddenly, he got it. He got it right. He took up a pass, whizzed the ball across the front of goal, and there was Dukey with a tap in. Thank you very much. 2-0. And I thought, you'll do me now, lad. Now you know what you're there to do. You'll do for me. And it's a kind of little breakthrough for the lad. And on that 20 minutes, last 20 minutes on the pitch on Saturday, you've got to say, he's going to be in the squad at least. Even though we've signed good players in midfield. The other one scored the first goal. JJ, is he going to be here? Or is he off to Italy? Is he off to the Premiership? Who knows? Who knows? I would like very much for him to stay because it's the old thing. He's one of ours, and he's got he's got quality. He himself's only 20 now, and but he's got 3 seasons in under his belt. He's got a full season of international football, and don't tell me it's only Wales because Wales don't play Lithuania or Abu Dhabi or they play the big teams. So every minute he spends on the pitch in that red shirt is of great value, and it's of great value to him. But equally, it's a great value to us because he learns. He learns, and when he comes back to us on a Saturday, ironically, they very often stick him on the bench because he's had a game in the week. But he comes on with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more expertise, and I would be sad, very sad, to see him leave um, without us getting a couple of years more out of that young man. Um, but we're bringing in midfielder after midfielder. Can't all stay. Rumour is that Paik is stopping, which is great news. We've got we bought a new centre half, this Austrian Kaya, so we don't need to play Bielik in the back. We can play him in midfield. Imagine Bielik, Paik, and James with um, the new Swedish lad on the left. Imagine those 4 in Division One. Might be a bit useful. And as I say, I am. People think I'm suicidal when we get beat, but I'm not. I understand where we are and where we're going, and on day one there were no signs we were going anywhere, and in 10 days later, we're moving forward, big style, big style. Um, I just tonight we're due to play the mighty Rangers from Glasgow, and they are called Rangers FC. There's no Glasgow in their name. Everybody knows where Rangers play. Goodness me. And I've read some pretty poor excuses for them people not going. Um, and I get um, the fear that there might be trouble. But Rangers and Birmingham are both founded on the Protestant Church. And now Birmingham City fans might not know that, but the Rangers fans do. And I guarantee that there'll be very little bother. Yeah, you'll get some drunken idiot, who doesn't. Um, I mean, somebody wrote to me and said, "I'm not going. I can't imagine letting my son hear all those um, horrible verses." Well, quite happy to take your son to hear him singing on the Villa, and various other. I remember the cup match at Leicester, where our fans were pretty savage towards their players, slugging off their wives and all sorts of things. Now, that isn't very pretty, is it? Now, whatever the Rangers may sing, you ain't going to understand it. So don't worry about it. Now then, it is Trevor's memorial match, and I would not miss it for the world. I don't normally manage to get to midweek games because I can't get home. I can't get home. So uh, I booked myself in at a hotel, stay overnight, go back the following morning. I would not miss this game. I'd quite honestly swap this game for the rest of the season. I'd be quite happy to sit here and watch it on my computer. But I can't miss this game. This man was so great a player. We talk about England players in the current patch. There is nobody in the forward sense that would be fit to lace his boots. And I know that's a common phrase, but it's absolutely true. Trevor Francis was a remarkable footballer. And it's 12 months ago to the day when he passed away. And I remember reading, somebody sent me a tweet saying, "We believe that Trevor has died." It was like my own child had died. It was, I just couldn't believe it. Trevor Francis died. The man's immortal. You know, you can't believe. I saw him when he was 15 years of age, and ironically, I remember seeing him play for Rangers. I went up midweek, and I was in a pub outside Glasgow Central, and the Rangers fans came in, and I was on the quiz machine, and this bloke behind me saying, "Yeah, all that," and recognised that I wasn't Scottish, and he said, "What are you doing here, pal?" I said, "I come to see Trevor." Oh, and I promise you, I never put my hand in my pocket again that night. I was telling about when I saw him when he was 15, when he scored his 4 goals in the game, and when he ran from the halfway line with 2 mental Millwall defenders in his wake and smashed it in from the edge of the box. And obviously the one against, which everybody's seen, the one against Arsenal, which was, if you had to grade all these goals, it wouldn't have been in the first 15. He scored wonder goals all the time, 2 or 3 a month. Now, Birmingham City were never on the telly, so he never got in the goal of the month competition. And even that one when he scored against QPR, I think Graham Souness won it that month. You know, because he plays in Liverpool. And anyway, it's obvious that he was a big hero of mine. I actually went to his engagement party, and you know where he had it? Alton British Legion. Can you imagine a multimillionaire in this day and age having their engagement party at Alton British Legion? But he did. The lovely Helen was there, and all his mates from the local pub turned up. Wonderful human being. So modest, so likable, shy, retiring, and just a wonderful footballer. He was so quick. Sometimes he just was 10 yards short of a defender and he'd kick the ball past him and be 10 yards past him before the guy could be turning round, which didn't require a lot of skill on the ball, but his pace was so undeniable that, well, people just fouled him in the end. They would block, if he did that to him, they'd just stand in his way and block him, and he'd go flying, and everybody accused him of diving. Well, he did dive because referees were so poor in those days. You had to draw to their attention, that you had been fouled. And if you just fell down, they'd think, "Oh, that's nothing." You had to fly through the air. And he was getting good at that. But anyway, we'll talk about that next week, what goes on. And of course, we've got, is it Warsaw on Saturday? Which apparently they've sent us 1,000 tickets. Why don't they send us 5,000 tickets? I mean, the ground only holds 12,000. They might as well send us 10,000, because the opposition, they ain't going to turn up. Where do these people, you know, don't they want to make any money? And if Stansfield's in the side, they'll be, well, Blues fans will just turn up and buy the tickets on the door, won't they? It's very hard to tell the difference between a Walsall accent and a Birmingham accent. Anyway, God bless you all, boys and girls. Here's to next week. Remember, if it's Wednesday, it's time for Wattos. All the best.